Hello everyone, I'm Smita Bodengi and I'm going to be explaining the solution to team number 5 of release 12524. The question reads, given that a and b are non-negative whole numbers that satisfy the equation 2ab plus a equals 23 minus 6b, what is the sum of all possible values of a plus b? So first let's rewrite the equation that they gave us. It was 2ab plus a equals 23 minus 6b. And so let's take the 6b and move it to the other side. So we have all of our variables on one side and all of the constants on the other. So that gives us 2ab plus a plus 6b, because this minus becomes a plus when we move to the other side, equals 23. And so when I look at the first two terms here, I see that we have an a common, so we can factor that out. So if we factor that out, we have a, and that leaves us with 2b plus 1 in the parentheses, and we still have the 6b equals 23. And so using Simon's favorite factoring rule, let's try to add something to both sides of this equation so we're able to have two factors that give us a constant. And so if we see here, we want to add something to both sides of this equation where we have another 2b plus 1 term that allows us to factor it and allows us to easily solve the problem. So since we know that we have a 2b plus 1, we have to factor out a 3 here. So this gives us 3 times 2b plus 1. And we still have the a times 2b plus 1 here. And so let's see what changed from the first question to the third one. So we have this first part the same, but if we look at the second part, in our second equation, we have 3 times 2b plus 1. So that gives us 6b plus 3. So that means we need to add 3 to both sides of the equation to go from the first equation to the second. So if we add 3 to 23, that gives us 26. And so we can just factor out the 2b plus 1 to give us a final factored form of a plus 3 times 2b plus 1 equals 26. And so what this equation tells us is that we have two numbers that are being multiplied together to give us 26. So let's write down all of the factors of 26 and try to make a few cases for what a plus 3 and what 2b plus 1 could be. So the factors of 26 are 1 times 26, and then 2 times 13. And technically you can have negative factors. For example, we could have -1 and -26, but because the question explicitly told us that a and b are both non-negative whole numbers, we are not going to be including those negative answers. So now we have all of the factors that we are considering, and let's make a few cases. So case 1 is a plus 3 equals 1, and 2b plus 1 equals 26. So if we move for this one, if we have a plus 3 equals 1, that gives us a equals -2. But again, if we look back at the question, it tells us that a and b are both non-negative whole numbers. So we will not be considering this case because that violates the rule that the question gave us. So let's go on to our second case. The second case we will take as a plus 3 equals 26 and 2b plus 1 equals 1. So we're just switching what a plus 3 and what 2b plus 1 could be. So this gives us a equals 23 and b equals 0. And so these both satisfy our condition here, because if we recall, 0 is both non-negative and non-positive. So we're able to include 0 as one of our options. But now let's also check the second set of factors. So case 3, we will have a plus 3 equals 2 and 2b plus 1 equals 13. If we take the first one, that gives us a equals to -1. Again, we can't have negatives. We will not be considering this case. So let's go to our fourth and final case, where a plus 3 equals 13 and 2b plus 1 equals 2. So that gives us a equals 10 and b equal to 1 over 2. But again, if we look at the question, it tells us they must be whole numbers. So again, we will not be considering this case because b equals 1/2 does not satisfy our question. So we only have one valid case, which is a. So if we take a comma b, it's 23 comma 0. That is our only valid case here, and if we look at what the question tells us, it's asking us for the sum of all possible values of a plus b. And since this is our only case, this is the only one we have to consider, so it's just 23 plus 0, which is just 23. And that's the solution to this question.
Hi, everybody. This is Tim. Hope you're enjoying our videos. If so, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, turn on notifications, all that sort of thing. But what I'd really want to invite you to do is to send us an email at media@mathleague.org. Tell us which problems you'd like to see us cover next in our video series. Take care and see you in the next video.